what would be the scenario that you envision? Would you sit them both down? Would you get like a breakaway shirt?
I don't think I'd be that dramatic. I would like to do it in person, just because I think that would be a good thing to do. Or maybe, I don't know, now I'm second guessing it. Maybe over text is the way to do it.
Pretend I'm your pops. Do a little role play with me. I'm your dad, and you're visiting me in Portland, and your mom's here too, and we're just cutting up vegetables in the kitchen like they do in movies when they show families. And you just like decide you got to tell me because the podcast told you to, or your brother's blackmailing you. Say the words you would say, and however you would say it, and just end it with, "Can you handle it, pops?" That's all I ask.
Okay, we'll give it a shot.
Well, son, how are you today? It's good. I'm glad you're visiting me here in Portland. This is a Massachusetts accent that I'm using.
Okay, so Dad, Mom, there's something I want to tell you. Don't freak out because it's nothing serious. It's nothing bad. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's fine. But I've been keeping something from you for a long time, and I want to fess up and be honest. I guess at that point I would roll up my sleeves and say, for the last several years, I've been getting some tattoos, and here they are. It doesn't change who I am. I've been very successful in life, doing very well in Atlanta. I have my advanced degree. I'm happily married. We want for nothing. And I'm still the same son that you've known all your life, but I just wanted you to know. And the reason I didn't tell you is because I was afraid you would be disappointed. And that fear of disappointment from your parents, I guess, never goes away even when you're 41. So please don't be mad. I love you. I have tattoos. Can you handle that, Pops?
Thank you for your honesty. While I respect your right to live your life however you wish, please know that you are now officially disowned. And I only have one son now, your brother. You may leave. Seems unlikely that he would say that. I don't know what he would say. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know. But how did you feel when you were saying that to me? Faking it. Even in a fakey way.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I felt okay about it, Felt maybe a little cathartic because, it's a double-edged sword. I am 41 and I can do what I want and I've had a good life and I've done well for myself. But on the other point, as I've said, the fear of disappointing your parents never goes away from you, no matter how old you are. So I'm still holding on to that. Your mock response did nothing to quell those fears.
I appreciate the fear of losing parental approval, but have they ever disapproved of stuff in your past? Choices that you've made? Has that affected your life?
Only, poor choices. Again, the product of being a young, dumb kid, getting in trouble, doing stupid stuff, whether it was, driving around with my friends, lighting up firecrackers in front of people's houses or something, dumb kid prank things. But not since I think I've been a bona fide adult have I done anything to disappoint them.
Well, you said that it's a double-edged sword, and I just wanted to say, before I go into my chambers, that a double-edged sword would be a cool tattoo to have right down your spine. Think about it. If I were to rule in your favor, Scott, never reveal. Always conceal, never reveal. Correct?
Yes, that would be good.
And Misty, if I were to rule in your favor, it's going to be reveal as soon as possible.
Yes.
How does this affect your life, Misty? Because we do try to hear disputes where the other party is wronged in some way. Are you being wronged in some way?
Yeah, Scott really stresses over this. Every time we prepare to go visit them, he's got to figure out his clothes, and it's always got to be during the cooler months. I see a day that his dad comes to visit us, and it's June, July, or August in Atlanta, and Scott is stressing.
And Scott's wearing a turtleneck.
Yep.
A big, chunky turtleneck because he got a neck tattoo just to piss off his older bro. I got you. All right. I think I've heard everything I need to in order to make my decision. I'm going to go into this tattoo parlor and have my verdict tattooed onto my chest, upside down so I can read it. I'll be back in a moment.
Please rise as Judge John Hodgman exits the courtroom. Misty, how do you feel about your chances here?
I don't know. Not too confident. I think he's going to make Scott continue to live his lies.
Why is that?
To protect his parents. I could be wrong, but I could see him siding with Scott and say, hey, you've done this for this long, keep it up.
Scott, your parents have dealt with you for a long time. Do they need protecting?
I mean, in general, no, but do I want to save them from unnecessary aggravation? Absolutely. And maybe in myself at the same time.
Do you need protecting?
Probably, yeah.
How do you feel about your chances?
Strangely enough, I feel equally as unconfident as Misty does. I feel like the verdict is leaning her way. So, we'll see. But yeah, I'm not feeling too good either.
Well, we'll see what Judge John Hodgman has to say about this. Hopefully everyone will lose when we come back in just a second on the Judge John Hodgman podcast.
Hi, I'm Joe Firestone.
I'm Manolo Moreno.
And we're the hosts of Dr. Game Show, which is a podcast where we play games submitted by listeners regardless of quality or content, with in-studio guests and callers from all over the world.
And you can win a custom
A
magnet.
custom magnet.
Subscribe now to make sure you get our next episode.
What's an example of a game, Manolo?
Pokemon or medication.
How do you play that?
You have to guess if something's a Pokemon name or medication.
Medication?
First-time listener, if you want to listen to episode highlights and also know how to participate, follow Dr. Game Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We'd love to hear
Yeah,
from you.
it's really fun.
For the whole family. We'll be every other Wednesday starting March 13th, and we're coming to Max Fun!
Snorlax.
Pokemon?
Yes.
Nice.
Judge Hodgman, we're taking a break from the case. What have you got upcoming?
It's early February, and guess what's coming up soon? iPodius, the very special podcast miniseries recorded by John Hodgman, the Judge John Hodgman podcast, and he, Elliot Kalin of the Flophouse podcast, and produced by our friend Jordan Cowling. It's a whole podcast about one of my very favorite pieces of culture, the 1976 BBC miniseries I, Claudius, starring Patrick Stewart with hair and all of your very favorite British character actors when they were younger and hairier. It's such a great work of art, and I'm talking about the TV show. And I dare say the podcast is fun too. So this would be a good time to start planning out to watch I, Claudius, and then listen to each episode of iPodius as it comes out, or enjoy it in whatever way you like. We put a lot of, well, I don't even call it work. We put a lot of fun into it, and I think you're going to get a lot of fun out of it. So take a listen, if you will. Keep an eye on everywhere you get your podcasts, and MaximumFun.org, of course, for iPodius. And a special shout out to Adam Apelad Coford for probably suggesting that name, iPodius. I don't remember where I got the idea, but I know he tweeted it at me at some point. And he's wonderful, and he actually contributes a great letter to the show. So that's what I've got going on. What about you, Jesse Thorne?
Folks have been asking me how they can watch I, Claudius ahead of the debut of the podcast or along with the podcast. It is, of course, available for digital purchase download on various platforms. It is also available, among other places, on Hoopla, which is a streaming platform that is available to a lot of people with library cards, somewhere between a lot and most here in the United States. I want to mention that on my podcast and NPR radio program, Bullseye, which is an arts and culture interview show that you should be listening to if you don't already, we have some really great guests that have just been on the show and are upcoming on the show. Just talked to the great Greta Gerwig, who is nominated for 2 Oscars, should be nominated for 3 or more.
For sure.
For her brilliant film, Little Women. The amazing Joe Para, who co-created and is the star of my favorite show on TV right now, Joe Para Talks With You, which is a beautiful northern Midwestern pastoral comedy infotainment that is as elegant and hilarious and loving as anything I've ever seen on TV. Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. And Joe is really great. Plus, next week on the show, John,
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi